Hey everybody, it's LaShawn with aaykrhv.com, and today we are talking about debt. We're talking about the whole good debt versus bad debt debate. Like, is that still a thing, or is all debt considered to be bad debt? So first I want to start off talking about good debt versus bad debt as far as examples of both of those. Good debt examples would be going to college, starting a small business, or just investing in real estate, right? Whether it's a home, business, just real estate. Bad debt examples would be buying a lot of cars, clothes, shoes, spending a lot on your credit cards, and things of that nature. That would be considered, those things would be the bad debt category. Now for the question, is there such thing as good debt versus bad debt, or is it all just debt and it's horrible? It really depends on who you ask. You have those who feel like debt is debt, it's all bad, it's horrible, I don't want anything to do with it, so I don't care if I went to college or not, it's bad, it's bad debt, and that's the end of it. Then you have those who are not in that mind frame. They're like, look, going to college is an investment, starting a business is an investment, I'm willing to take, yes, I'll have a little debt or whatever, but the plan is not to keep it for long, and it's going to get me to that next level I want to be in my life. So it really depends on who you ask. I feel like good debt is good until it becomes bad. So using an example would be college. College is an investment. Everybody who goes, the plan is, an expectation is to go to college, get your degree, get out of college, be making a good living, and be able to, pay back any loans that you took out. But that's the expectation and the hope going into college, but that is not the reality for everyone who goes. An example would be basically a person went to college, they had good intentions, wanted to be in a certain field, got out of college, was not able to get a job in their field, or if they were, it was a low paying job in their field, and they're making just enough money per year to meet their basic expenses and to have enough money just kind of in the corner if an emergency happens. So they really don't have money on top of that to pay back this investment that they did going to college. They really don't have that, right? Now, you may also have someone who, again, went to college, took out loans, were able to get a job, paying decent, paying enough for them to meet their needs, and be able to throw some extra money on top of the minimum payment of their loans so they can go ahead and get that debt taken care of, and it's not taking them umpteen years for that debt to be, taken care of, right? So for that, the second person we talked about, for them, that was a good investment. College was a good investment, and they're good because they're able to get out, pay that loan off quickly, and then, go into something else and, further their career and be able to really live off their fruits of labor and make other investments, buying a home, starting businesses. They're able to do that off of that one investment of college. This first person we talked about, they're kind of in limbo because they're barely making ends meet, and they have these student loans to pay back. And when you take out student loans, you're not just taking out the payment that you're paying, that is being paid to the institution. You have to remember there's a bunch of interest that comes with that, and depending on what type of loan you got that you signed up for when you were 19, 20 years old, would depend on how you pay it back. And for that first person we talked about, they may be able to pay the minimum payment, but paying the minimum payment on any loan, but especially a student loan, you can be paying that minimum payment for 10 years and not really see that you've paid much at all. And that becomes really a bad debt because it's just sitting there. And now you versus the second person, you have this debt still there. It's not really moving, but life is still happening. And say you want to go and purchase a home. They're going to look at that and say, okay, well, they don't care about good debt versus bad debt. They're going to say, yeah, it's cool that you went to college. I'm glad you got a job, but that student loan is still a debt. And when we look at the income versus debt ratio, yeah, I may be able to give you a home loan, but it's going to be for a lot less than the second person who was able to kind of pay off some of that debt because they got, the job that they needed coming out of college. And so they were able to pay off some of that investment and now they're able to make another investment because their debt to income ratio is a lot less than that first person. So that's what I mean by, good debt is good until it becomes a bad debt. So yeah, is the debate still out there? Yes, it is in some conversations, but honestly, in a lot of conversations, debt is debt. And, it's good to have little to no debt. And if you're going to make investments, which I don't want people to be afraid to make investments, but if you're going to make those investments, you really need to think long and hard and really have a solid plan of how you're going to be able to make your return on investment to make that debt make sense. So that is the answer to that question, and I will see you all later.